Best of fives, and what better way to kick this off? To the top right-hand side, our blue Terran player from Splice, this is TY. And to the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player, we have ourselves Maru. Great news, guys. I just got word that that my internet at home is absolutely fantastic. It just got installed. My hero mum, and I think we should all take a moment to say thank you, Wardy Mum, came to my apartment today to babysit the house until the internet was installed so I could come out and cast. So, shout out to Wardy Mum. She has actually allowed us to cast these games for you guys today. So, shout out to Wardy Mum today, guys. She has literally made that happen. Fortunately, they actually came pretty early, so she's not been there too long. But she was ready to sit there for like 5, 6, 7 hours waiting for the house to get going. Waiting for the index to... Sorry, let me cough. Alright. Best of 5 action here today, guys. And Maru and TY, what a hell of a way to get things started. This is actually just such a fantastic series. I really hope it lives up to, because these guys can play some hella good StarCraft 2. So I really hope this is going to be... a fantastic series. Like, honestly, it really could be. It really should be. I mean, just a shame that they had to meet in the round of 8 almost. It's actually funny, all of these round of 8 matchups are mirror matchups. So that's going on. And yeah, we're going to be casting all of those today. It doesn't mean, obviously, that sucks, but at least it means in the semi-finals and finals, there's not going to be any mirror matchups. It's going to be a Terran versus Protoss and a Zerg versus a Protoss guaranteed on each side of the bracket. Ooh, Reaper finds that SCV trying to build a starport right away in TY with the question mark. Love it. Thank you so much, Fulio Dulio, with the 4 bits to get us started today. As you see, a couple of Reapers and a Hellion just hanging out the front. Obviously, cancelling that starport isn't a huge deal for TY. Yes, it kind of takes away from his plan, but at least it was found early so that it wasn't building for a long time. You can cancel and build at home pretty quickly here. So, getting that going. As we do just have the, again, a couple of Hellions and a couple of Reapers just hanging out at the front. A little bit of aggression going to get started off. So you see a couple of Reapers in the Hellion just poking around here, having a little bit of fun to get going. Liberator on the way up from each player here, as we see the Cyclone on the way out as well from Maru. And yeah, the few Reapers and a couple of Hellions just continue to move around. As you do see TY going to hop up with the Reapers here up into the main base, the couple of Hellions still sat down on the low ground. So all of this just getting going here at the moment, as you see the command center coming in on the natural. The orbital command from Maru is going to be coming up here as well. Yeah, the finals, of course, can be PvP, guys. But I mean, that was going to happen no matter where you put the Protoss players, because there's 4 of them. Unless you put all of them on the top side of the bracket, that would have been guaranteed 3 PvPs, right? So, anyways, Liberator just chilling out as we do see Maru a good amount of units to pressure with as he pushes across. Remember, Maru is defended early on. He's taken an earlier expansion, and he is still the player applying the pressure here. This could be bad for TY, whose units are just spread out. Reapers on the high ground. They hop down. I mean, Hellions do pull away without much damage taken, and we are going to be seeing the command center building up on the natural. That SCV a little bit low here at the moment. Across the map, the Liberator will get siege though, so some damage to be done. Cyclone's out of position, so there isn't anything to deal with this, and Maru is going to take some damage. TY finally gets the damage that he needs. Start playing a little bit of catch-up here on this delayed command center in comparison to Maru's. Looks like there was a bit more of a skirmish. A Reaper and a Hellion going down. This Hellion very low from TY as well. The Cyclone might want to just turn and fight that. Actually locks onto the Reaper. I mean, that works out as well. Reaper kill is good too. These early game units are very powerful. As you see the Liberator from Maru coming in. Gets a couple of workers, but that will be all. As now the medevac comes in back home, Cyclone, Helene, and a couple of Reapers unloading. So actually not back home at all. Sorry, this is the aggression from TY into the base of Maru. These guys are just non-stop with each other. Loses a Reaper, gets out of there. Just gets a couple more workers though, and those adding up over time are of course a big deal. So that's fantastic to be seeing. Now again the Reaper, the Cyclone and the Helene just kind of chilling out. The Reaper as well. Maybe seeing a couple of Marines coming over too, still just sort of cruising at the front of these few units as the medevac only has that Helene to maybe go scout the main. I guess trying to find out information as to if this is mech or bio yet, or if there's a third base would be very nice. Currently they are kind of mirrored. Now just now a third CC comes down from Maru. This was a very late orbital morphing in, by the way. But yeah, third CC drops down from Maru. He has still been in an income lead throughout this game. Look at that. It's 6 workers at the moment here, so it's still all turned out in favor of Maru. Despite having lost a few extra workers, that's just the difference in how late the CC was at TY. I do feel like a couple of macro mistakes, such as I don't think he was continuing to build this all of the time, actually. I think he did stop for a little while and didn't go back onto it for a bit, or he didn't build the orbital right away, so he hasn't constantly producing SCVs. Because with the damage done, I don't think Maru should be quite 7 workers ahead. So now just a little bit better right here with some of these little bits and pieces of macro. The 2 Ravens on the tank just kind of cruising the main, still has the bunker at the front, so he's pretty safe here. And if the bunker goes down, it's frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. And the Marines can actually chase the Cyclones away anyways, now that the bunker stays alive. We're going to be seeing Marines, tanks, and Ravens starting to push out in towards the center. Oh, going to see the couple Cyclones loading up there, man. That medevac going to be boosting away. 2 Ravens on either side, and honestly the way that the Ravens cast their spells is going to be a huge determining factor here. As we're going to be seeing the Cyclone locking on. Does pick off 1 Marine. A second Marine goes down too. Viking coming across. A couple of them coming over and actually maybe able to get that medevac. Will get it. Locks onto the siege tank, which pulls away pretty quickly. TY just dealing as much damage as he can. Trying to slow this army from coming across the map here, because he knows when it gets here, it's not going to be fun for him. Tank siege up from quite a distance because he scans and doesn't see units, so I think he's a little bit afraid as to where those might be. Sees them now though as the second scan comes in. So Maru just being very cautious about this. Siege is up now. Cyclone will pull back plenty of time before he walks in towards that siege tank. Remember that Maru has that third base up, but not in position, which TY does have. He was a bit braver and built it in location as he picks off a tank here. Just because he has the medevac, he had those couple of Cyclones, he had a lot of map control. And by having a lot of map control, he's been able to take that third base in location rather than elsewhere. As going to see the tanks will actually just turn and fight those Cyclones. Loses another one. Ravens now coming in. Auto turrets en masse from both players, but Maru just had more energy left over. He had yet to use his Ravens, as now he's actually pushing in towards siege tanks though. I'm not sure I like that. He's going to get one of them. He'll land the Vikings too. Continues to try and take this fight, but this seems to be about it, and that siege up tank is just dealing so much damage. TY is even going to keep a Raven alive here as well. Maru will try and somehow keep this alive as well, but it's not going to be easily done. And even if it is, it's going to be out of position to defend. Maybe you can use it aggressively somehow, but now TY's wandering across the map with a couple of siege tanks in tow, and he's ready to push in towards this natural expansion. Couple of tanks is going to be sieging up here. You see a couple of Vikings pressing forwards. Raven goes down. The siege tank gets away. Vikings want to land on top, so it's a good unsiege very quickly. There's the Vikings will still grab one of those tanks as Maru pushes TY back out into the center. Third base up from Maru. He's down by 7 workers though. TY's definitely been turning this around. But look at the upgrades. Maru has 1-1 completed. And TY, he doesn't even have stim yet. 1-1 just starting up. Okay, well Maru has all of the advantages when it comes to the ground army. He has his extra barracks already finished as well, morphing into reactors. TY's only just getting his extra racks, so that's going to be a huge difference here. Maru's going to have a marine force, he's going to be able to push across the map, and he's going to be able to really apply the pressure, and TY will have to be so careful defensively, because it's so easy for Maru to lift up a few units, drop them over into the main base, and just cause havoc by being anywhere and everywhere at the same time. 2 Marines will lead forwards into the center. Sensor tower coming up on the third base. We're going to be seeing this armory coming down to the right-hand side of the third base as well. Going to be seeing a couple of medevacs, more Marines coming over too, and this is going to start being a push across to the top right-hand side of the map here. We've got this SCV just patrolling around. Maru is going to come in with a Marine and is just not quite going to get that SCV. SCV survives for the moment. Vikings and the Raven coming across here for Maru as well. Again, this army is huge right now. It's not just huge, but it's well upgraded. The 1-1 versus 0-0. The stim and combat shields versus just stim. is all going to be big for him as Maru continues up the right side. However, the more he waits here, the more he slows down, the more chances 1-1 has to finish. I mean, +1 attack will be done before a fight. Maybe +1 armor won't. TvT fights don't usually happen super quickly anyways. See, Marine's going to stim in to try and get those Vikings. Does save the second medevac. What a siege position here, though, on Automaton. He's going to be able to siege up and sort of siege the main. That's going to deny some of these barracks from building here for a little while. See, auto turrets are going to come down as well. That's going to be a targeted liberator pretty quickly. Saves the siege tank. The Raven going down. Medevac's loading up, and he'll jump into the main base as well. Vikings will come forwards. The Medevac's already backing away. Maru's so good. He's not going to give up any unit he doesn't have to. Going to be seeing the tanks obviously holding position here though from TY in a tough, kind of stressful position to deal with, but he's dealt with it well. And as the Marines back away a little bit, he's going to land a Viking, gives it up for a siege tank. I like it. He's got the Viking control already, so doesn't really need to do more. There's a couple of tanks continue to fire away, and that barracks is just going to be saved by a couple of SCVs. Again, stressful, but at this point now you can kind of get back to it. Maru, though, is taking a 4th base behind this. Well, so does TY. Naturally, this dropper Maru is in position to get a cancel on this. Nothing in position from TY. Instant cancel, and TY being punished for building his bases on location. This 4th is a bit more stretched out as well. This 4th is a bit more kind of contained in the bottom left corner. Maru takes a base advantage now as he begins to back away with these Marines, with these tanks, and those medevacs. Two medevacs of TY running up the top side as well. A couple more units coming over from Maru. There's going to be a bunch of Marines, a few siege tanks here. As Maru is continuing forwards, picks up another unit in the center. I mean, that's the supply depot that's going to get picked up as well. And it's funny because that supply depot is meant to just be there to kind of scout ahead of time, but it's actually going to supply block TY if it goes down. And that means that TY can't build anything for a little while. Macro mistakes are being made. He does have a drop in the main base, so Maru will start to take some damage. The SCVs want to pull in to protect that orbital, and he decides, well, is it actually worth it? Now he's going to come in with the Marines, and he is going to keep the orbital alive. A drop down towards the low ground. Well, Planetary Fortress here will minimize damage to be taken. Another unit's coming back, including Vikings chasing, as those medevacs are not having a fun time at all. Some more units just going to jump up in towards the main there, and those couple medevacs again from TY having to pull away. Well, we're going to drop down in towards the 4th base location, so that is something, I'll tell you. I mean, 4 bases, and this is 4 orbitals from TY, when Maru actually has a 4th base as a planetary. But look at Maru's confidence. He knows he's controlling the map, so he's going to get this gold base up while he can, as he gets this set up and ready to go. To the far left side, Marines pick off one of the Vikings. Marines and tanks still up through the center. Pressing forwards here, he scans, and you will see those Marines backing away at the moment. Guys, sorry for the little frame drops. This is the Korean server. As we see Marines and tanks going to drop on down here. Marines will stim, and SCVs will take a lot of damage right away. Tanks firing as well, and these Marines, well, they deny the 4th base location. 13 SCVs dropping again. Maru, he just suicides in a few Marines to get that orbital as well. No 4th base for you, he says. TY, we are being kept to 3 bases today, and that's not going to be, well, a very good situation for TY as well at all, is it? I mean, Planetary Fortress now for Maru on a gold base. TY has to take some desperate measures, and that's why he's going to try a bit of a doom drop here. I mean, I say a doom drop for medevacs and Marines doesn't feel very doomful, but I mean, Marines can definitely deal damage. They can definitely get a lot done, but yeah, just going to be pushing across, going to head towards the main. As here we go, Marines and tanks starting to press forwards. We're going to see that split coming up, the tank siege, and these Marines getting to work already. Lots of Marines going down, tanks taking damage. Here we go, drop in towards the main as medevac's getting blown on up by the missile turret. The full medevac goes down already. Maru will have to respond to this. He's got not really much at home. A couple of Vikings, Marines coming over. The tanks starting to siege up and just layering their defense. This orbital command has a really good chance of going down. Lifts it up. We'll look to drop it back down in a moment. The Vikings wanting to try and come in here to get those medevacs, pick those off. Now, the tank fire is good. The positioning there for Maru and the patience in the defense is absolutely pristine. Just waiting and waiting. Threatening to attack, but not actually committing in. Slowly pushing his tanks forwards. Doesn't siege them too far forwards so they get picked off. Sieges them quite far back and then leapfrogs one forwards to slowly confirm this pushed away. Absolute amazing attention to detail dealing with that drop there. As TY is going to be loading up and heading across the left side. Again, you can see TY's reset his 4th base, dropped the main base out of position. I mean, this 4th base is a nice base to take. It's definitely one to look out for. because, you know, Maru went there straight away, and it makes sense because you're going to have to defend this sort of area towards your main anyways. At the same time, this gold base of Maru is also a little bit more kind of vulnerable, and he definitely isn't in position to go and defend that if units sieged up over here. And that is a real possibility, but then the idea is, I mean, he's got a 5th base, right? TY barely has 4 bases. In fact, he doesn't have 4 bases. He has 3 still. His 3rd base, his main base orbital, is now on the 4th. So, well, Maru just keeps on expanding as well. Again, when you're in full control of a game like this, someone like Maru will not let you, you know, it slip away easily. And he will just set up very nicely. Another big drop here from TY. Tell you what, Maru is once again massively out of position, but Vikings and turrets makes them think twice about it. The Vikings, though, of TY will sacrifice themselves in a bad fight to get the medevacs into the main base. Well, it starts up from a distance, but going to be difficult to clean up, although there is a Liberator, and obviously he has the Viking count, so actually, maybe he can do something with this, although that Liberator will go down. The tanks able to kind of protect the, not able to protect the Marines here, really, although tanks now sieging up on the low ground. There's not much left. TY's attempt of dropping is once again so calmly and easily dealt with by Maru. What feels like an absolutely terrible position, but Maru turns into, actually, this wasn't all so bad in the end. Maru's got free upgrades against +3/+2. TY will stim and looks as though he's going to go for that planty, but this time Maru, okay, he will turn back around. I thought for a moment he might commit to going across the map. This tank sieges up. He just has that extra bit of vision, so Maru is able to pick that off. As Marines are going to stim up here, the tank siege, and it's going to be a massacre. And as you see those tanks going down, the planty fort is saved by the repair. Only 6 SCV is killed for all of the tanks of TY, and Maru is once again just laughing at the moment, having a hell of a time here. Tanks sieging up in the center again. A little bit of an army from TY pushing down the right side. A couple tanks sieging up, but again, those Liberators are a real threat at the moment. There is a lot of them, and there is, of course, the air army. Well, is there still an air army? There is 6 Vikings, but he doesn't have them here just yet. GG's, Maru. Guys, if you missed game 1, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. You've messed up. Bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran player from Splice. This is TY. Try and bring out a little bit of my inner Maynard without kind of actually pissing off everybody in the rooms around me. So Maynard, how you doing, buddy? Top right-hand side, our red Terran player. This is Maru. One of my best casts of my life was in IEM Shanghai. I was casting a TvT, a beautiful TvT, with Maru and I believe Innovation. Maybe, what was it? Was it Beyond Innovation? It was either Beyond Maru or Maru Innovation. It was one of those matches, and I was casting with Maynard. It was Innovation Maru, and it was on Proxima Station, and we had one hell of a fucking cast. I think it was one of the best casts I ever did. It was really sick. It was really sick. Let's see if coming across the map here, and as we get this going. It's going to be seeing the recall on the way out here. To get started early game, no second gas from either player, so both of them right away going into the faster expansion this time around. It's a little bit safer to expand early on Cerulean Fall because there's no kind of Reaper jump up into the main or anything. There is obviously a couple of options here and here, but there's also this ramp up into the naturals, so just defending your natural expansion itself can be a bit easier, and that's why you probably see the players opting for more expansion-focused builds this time, rather than anyone sticking around with a couple of gases. Factory on the way down, and we're going to be seeing the rack's going to be getting set up into a bit of a reactor. Reaper just chilling out on the natural and, well, getting this going. Yes, best of 5, guys, best of 5. A couple of people, I honestly thought it was best of 5 from the start. Just a couple of people in chat like, are you sure it's best of 5? Some places say best of 3. I don't see why it says best of 3, so it's definitely best of 5. Command center is dropping down, and this natural getting going. Third CC coming in from TY up on the high ground here. As we will see an additional barracks from TY, so already going into extra racks, just staying on this one gas. And this very fast third CC is a hell of a way to change things up a little bit. Ripper just patrolling back and forth a little bit. Marines coming down the low ground. We're going to be seeing the starport about to finish up in the main base. So starport finishing up here. Widowmine pops out. We'll come down to the low ground. Oh my god, my frames are dropping. La-di-da-di-da, frames are dropping. Fuck me. Hello? Hello. Alright, well, Marines just gathering up down on the natural. Getting this set to go. Sorry, guys, again, internet issues. Like I said, it just keeps happening. Rapid getting a gifted sub. Who is that actually from? Sorry, I didn't see. Shane Rama gifting out a sub to Rapid. What's up, Rapid? Welcome to the family. We're back, guys. We're back. Tell people in the chat to refresh or to pause and play. Again, there's only so much I can do. Like, there's nothing I can actually do to fix this right now. I've already told the people downstairs to fix it. They are looking at it, but we don't know. Yesterday, it was stable for the majority of the day and only cut out once. Maybe we've just been unlucky and it happens at the start. We just have to deal with it, guys. Like, I just really can't do anything else. I'm just praying that it's just sort of done for now, and that it's going to be back on track for a little bit, and at least lets us just cast these games. So again, it might happen again. Complete honesty. Definitely having internet issues at the moment, so feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Marines and tanks coming up here. Raven on the way out as well. So the game TvT with Stempak on the way again. TY though just has that third base so fast. Maru's obviously just getting into his own third base now. So his third CC going to be finishing up in a moment or two. Rax comes over and going to drop down the tech lab. Starport lands onto a reactor. And we're going to be seeing a couple of Vikings currently on their way out. Scan drops in onto these racks, and again, a couple of medevacs just about to pop out. There's a couple of medevacs popping out, siege tank on its way. All of this still just getting set to go. Man, it's just that TY with the kind of the fast bio setup obviously has so much bio, and the upgrades are so fast as well. His +1's very quick. At the time he gets a +1, it'll be the same as Maru, but he's got that stim already, so he can start dropping, and Maru has to be very defensive and very safe here, because his Marines on, his mobile units here are not going to be very good in comparison to TY's. Moving out right now, I feel, is absolutely awful for Maru, because he has no way to defend his main. I tell you what, if these Marines unload here and they stim onto that stim, I actually think that might just die. And if that just goes down, well, I mean, what on earth do you do as Maru? Here you go, I mean, Marines will begin to unload. There's a tank in the main base, but I think you just go for stim pack, right? Straight away. Huge pickoff, massively delays Maru for the rest of the game, basically. Now those Marines are going to stim in, and they are going to go for the siege tank, so the tank goes down. SCVs are continue to drop here as well, man. 25 workers killed. TY, plain and simple. After a hell of a game number 1, game number 2, we're not messing around here. As we see, the bunker is up, but that will only last a few moments as, well, that third base is obviously in trouble. Those SCVs are basically sacrificed, and GG from Maru. He was just not... I really hate it, so apologies in advance for that, guys. Again, I just got internet installed in my apartment today, so fingers crossed. Honestly, if this keeps up, like if it drops one more time today, I'm just going to pack up my PC and just... I'm not going to move home during the cast. I'm going to just deal with it for this cast, but I'm going to pack up my PC and move all my shit home and just cast from home from tomorrow. Even though my room isn't necessarily 100% ready, that's kind of the plan. Bottom right side, our blue Terran from Splice is TY, and to the top left, our red Terran is Maru. DMKFE, DMCafe, Cafe? TM Cafe, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Much love. Welcome to the Wardy family. As you see a couple of racks dropping down here from TY to get set up. So a couple of barracks coming down. And this SCV of Maru just going to come wandering around the left-hand side. So SCV just wandering around here. Dr. Zub in the chat says, I really want these replays, should find some extra money for it. You guys will get these replays in the replay pack if you're a subscriber. We do regular replay packs on our Discord server, and subscribers get access to all of them, so you can get your hands on these Maru replays. We've got Maru replays from the group stage, from Kung Fu Cup. We've got lots of great replays, lots of great players. We put out about 600-700 replays in December, if not more. So you guys get a lot of high-quality replays to check out if you want to check that out. Alright. Well, SCV comes across here as we are going to be seeing the first couple of Reapers are going to start passing in towards the main base. So Reaper number 1 pops out, heading in towards the main. So that's a lag spike on my end. Oh my god, my heart is just going crazy right now. I'm like, oh my god, frames. No, the frames are okay. Reaper grenade will go down, and one SCV will drop there. So a little bit of damage done. That Reaper still actually being chased. Ooh, TY nearly loses his first Reaper. Maru gets a bunker up, and bunker up over here. This obviously becomes pretty much a defense, and then you just have to look to transition as TY. Factory drops down, and we'll see Maru just coming across, and we'll see that factory coming in play. I'm not sure what he's actually scouting for per se. Generally, the follow-up of a 2-rack Reaper opening is pretty regular throughout. You're going to see these Reapers hop in. They take some damage on the way in. That Reaper, though, of Maru did take a couple of shots of damage. Jumps back in now. He hopped out just to throw the grenade down. Now a single Marine is trying to fight this here. His Reaper goes down as well. TY still finding some damage. I guess better to lose a Marine and a Reaper than just allow these Reapers to obviously pick away at SCV after SCV. One Reaper gets out of there. Still annoying from TY. But Maru is holding on quite nicely. With his own starport coming up, he's got a factory for the Hellion. And we're getting this going. Couple more Reapers just still on the way, actually. They're going to be heading down to the bottom right. Maru's going to try and scout again. I like this scout, actually, because now he gets to see what the factory is building. He sees it's a tech lab right away. So Cyclones, maybe even Magfield Accelerator from TY, depending on whether he wants a starport or not. Okay, I kind of like it. He might just bypass the starport to get Magfield, and then he's very strong on the ground. Obviously, a starport can go a long way to helping out as well, though. It can also be very effective, and looks like it will be a starport. Maybe switch that onto the tech lab at some point and go for Banshee play. As you have this Rax just floating up in towards the main, and those Reapers of TY going to head up the right-hand side. Hellion still hanging out just at the front here. Marines, again, working their way through that barracks. They're dealing with a little bit of damage here already. Just picking their way through that. Medevac's about to pop out. Siege Tank's about to finish up as well. Another couple of Marines. Maru's own CC is a little bit slow to get going, though, and we'll see the Medevac actually being used to bring these units here a little bit faster to help push the Reapers away. Gets one kill, and the CC, though, is delayed. Cancels the Magfield and builds a Liberator. Not sure if that's just to help kind of... Not sure what the plan was. Maybe he wanted Magfield, then he's like, oh, it's too expensive, or perhaps it's just this stage where he was maybe starting it up to maybe start a bit of a fake out. Tough to say. What's up, Camex SCT? How you doing? Happy New Year to you as well, buddy. Thank you so much. Hope everyone's having a great 2019 so far. We are. We had a pretty fun stream yesterday, and obviously a great stream lined up today, provided the internet holds out. So, yeah, it should be pretty great. As you see, this Raven is on its way up. A couple Marines continue to pop out as well. And we are going to see that Siege Tank is about to finish also in the next few moments. Liberator pops up, another Viking on the way, as we are going to be having the orbital finishing up on the natural expansion. This rack still just flying around a little bit as well over on the left-hand side, as these few Marines and the Medevac just gathering up at the front. Liberator starting to come up over to the left to try and see what is going on. So Liberator is going to come all the way up this left-hand side here, and is going to be heading towards that main base. Look to apply a little bit of pressure. Single Marine of Maru jumping on that Rax and just continue to push it back. I mean, may as well, right? So that's Liberator that could really deal some damage, though. Maru is down by 4 workers as TY starts a third base already. Maru's obviously a little bit behind on his natural even. That's still morphing into an orbital. So TY definitely with the eco advantage early, but Maru with the push. He's got 8 Marines and 2 tanks. This is a very kind of old school drop, I feel, even. That's something that we used to see a hell of a lot, and well, here you go. 8 Marines and 2 tanks with the Raven as well coming down the right. Here we go, and in towards that main base in a few moments. Might even be able to cancel the third CC. That'd be huge just because of the position here. That'd be really nice. The Liberator's still waiting for an opportunity. As he sees this attack come in, I'm pretty sure the Liberator will launch itself towards that mineral line. There isn't a lot here to really defend from Maru, so definitely can work out. There you go, Medevac's going to boost in as the Raven takes a shot from the Viking. Oh, he's going to get right behind the mineral line here. Okay, I can definitely get behind that as you see that tank coming up. Ooh, Interference Matrix to buy some time. Order Turret as well as the Raven is about to fall. Tank fire is good on the Cyclones as the Cyclone runs out of range, and now the tank gets killed off as well. Great attack by Maru, and 7 SCVs killed here. This is very difficult to deal with because these tanks are still so annoying. Raven is out, and a Raven will have an Interference Matrix to drop down on one of these tanks. And as you see, Maru is going to pull away into the corner there. Oh, no, needs to pull away a little bit further. Just doesn't quite manage that as we see this first tank going down. He'll save a couple of those Marines, and the tank will now go down as well. Third orbital from TY is going to get ready to lift up, drop down to the low ground. This Rax here just chilling out the front. There's the third orbital on the third base, also on the way down. Marines just poking their way through some of these SCVs, doing a good amount of damage actually. Getting a good few of those already. Couple more engineer bays on the way up here from Maru. And we're just going to be seeing the orbital command. Just continue to set up, dropping down a mule or two. There's tank sieges on the third base, and there's Rax from TY coming over to the left. Stim on the way up from Maru. We're going to be seeing another Rax dropping down as well. React on this Rax on the right side of the main base. And those Marines are going to be able to kill off that Rax there. So, if any of that goes down, that scouter TY dealt with. Maru dealt some good damage, but he's still behind quite heavily on army because he did lose those 2 tanks and he lost the medevac. So, he's still struggling a little bit here because of that. I'll tell you what, the ways his Marines are going, he doesn't see this little bit of a push from TY coming in. 3 of these siege tanks moving forwards at the moment. Looking to see where they can get to. And SCV goes down. There we go. A couple of those tanks already sieging up, and SCV is going to start getting picked away at here. 3 workers down so far. Tanks. Oh, will actually be safe. Was that tank in range? It is in range. Okay, wow. We'll turn and try and fight that there, but he's actually focused on this tank. So TY loses one of his tanks, but still fighting on that refinery. It's still in an annoying position. 12 workers down. Maru is bleeding at the moment, guys, and TY looks like he might be about to take a 2-1 lead in this best of 5. If this lead is definitely possible, but of course it's not over until Maru GG's. Maru will fight and he'll try and find a way. You know how it goes. We're just going to be seeing Order Turret coming down, a couple of extra SCVs. Anything you can get right now as TY is obviously fantastic. He gets 7 extra workers with them. That's actually insane. Maru bringing his units just out the front of the natural. And again, we see those 1-1 upgrades. About to finish up from Maru. TY as well. Stim's not far behind. The upgrades are pretty even then, so there's not going to be much of an advantage for Maru to work with anywhere. He's not going to be able to find much to get back into this game with. 2 tanks and Marines coming down the right side to the top. A single Marine just chilling out as well. A couple more Marines in the center. 1 peels away to the far left-hand side. 2 to watch out for what's going on here. Missile turret on the far left side of the map, ready to catch anything that's maybe flying up in this direction. A couple of refineries will go down. Armory building up here from TY. Again, a couple of medevacs on the way out. 4th command center is about to finish up here as well. CC going to lift up, move over to the right, and again, it's going to be seeing the Vikings and the Raven gathering together from Maru. Marines and the tanks still from Maru just chilling out as well. Combat Shell's going to be finishing up. 2 upgrades getting started from TY as well, plus 1 vehicle weapons on the way. And the game just does take a bit of a calm, a moment or two, but only until TY gets set to attack. And here we go, Vikings, Raven, and tanks, Marines as well, all pushing up the left and ready to try and attack into this here. So, getting themselves set to go. Big Marine stim actually from Maru going to press forward. Anti-armor missile is big though, TY. He was already going to shred this army, I feel. Now it's even more so kind of set in that way. He's going to see Marines stimming in for that siege tank. There's actually a lot of tanks here, though. He has to be very careful, but gets his own tanks in position, and 3 of them obviously beat out 1. Those Marines are unable to do a lot, so they lift up and they back away. But now the 3rd base is in trouble. SCVs are taking a beating over here. I don't even know. I think a Liberator came in. Oh, it's just creating position to the main base. The Vikings out of position. So Maru was taking damage all over the place. And TY takes game 3. Going up in here as TY and Maru go into game number 4 on Port Alexander. Up a map in the top left-hand side from Splice. Our blue Terran player is TY. Looking to make it to the semi-finals, where they would play a TvP against either Parting or Deer. That'll be our second best of 5 up very shortly. Bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player is Maru. Pretty fun series though. Variety of builds, variety of styles. That game, the 2 Racks Reaper did just put TY that little bit ahead. And that little bit of a lead really carried through. Dealt with the attack of Maru. I feel like it really definitely caught TY off guard, and yet it still wasn't deadly enough to finish him off there. And as you see, double gas versus single gas. TY will expand quickly as Maru will look to apply the pressure here on Port Alexander. What's up, Fetsy? Thank you so much for the 100 bits. How you doing? Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, not a single Banshee in these games, as a huge Kahuna Burger points out. Kind of funky. Maru loves his Banshees as well. I mean, so does TY, really. Just not see a single Banshee so far in these games is kind of incredible. Is only the round of 8 played today? Yes. The round of 4 and the finals is going to be played another day. They are just figuring out when to play it because their original schedule got messed up a little bit by IEM qualifiers. They might even keep it off of the OSC Championship dates for us, which would be awesome, but it's not guaranteed. If it does land on OSC Championship dates, unfortunately, I have to cast the OSC Championships rather than that because I'm committed to that for 10 days. Starting tomorrow, by the way, OSC Championship Group A. Going to be absolutely fantastic. Going to be a lot of fun. Let's see, Unit Reaper just chilling out at the front. Command Center coming down on the natural. Starport on the way up, and we're going to see that Rax with a Tech Lab going to be lifting off to give Starport some room, probably. Maybe this is the time for the Banshees. That will go straight into Ravens again. Honestly, the Ravens are very good in the TvT meta at the moment. They have a great kind of role to fill, so definitely something to potentially watch out for. As you see the Reaper and the Hellion coming across over this left-hand side. He's just going to start poking around, but the orbital's finished up from TY, so he's good for the moment. As again, it is Maru who's on that later command center. And there we go. It's like we summoned the Banshees, isn't it? We've summoned them! Cloak Banshee on the way up, getting this underway. Fetsy, not just with the 100 bits, but also with the fresh new subscription. Thank you so much. Get some love in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate it. Cyclone on the way up here now from Maru as well. A couple of Marines on the way out, and an Reaper and a Hellion continue to come across. Just going to wait for some of the units to continue on. Woohoo! Oh my god. Jenna! What is that? The 20 sub bomb. Well, hell yeah. Can we get some hype in the chat for Jenna? The legend. As the Muslim puts it. He puts it as the ledge because he's, you know, a good old little English boy. He's like, oh, what a ledge, mate. But what a legend. Thank you so much for the 20 subs. Guys, can you get some hype in the chat? If you hear your name right now, you just got gifted a sub by the beautiful and lovely Jenna Bain. Huge Kahuna Burger. Well, there you go. You got gifted a sub. I just mentioned your name as well. Hachi, hold on that fort. There's Hellions here. They're diving by. SCVs are going down. Jumping up into the main base. Going to get, well, only 3 Hellions, so they're not going to one-shot workers at least. Cyclone locks on. TY is getting good damage, but obviously costs him a good few Hellions, and so maybe there's some counter potential. Banshee gets Interference Matrix. There isn't that much anti-air, just a few Marines. Banshee continue to move back and forth here as you see SCV's taking a little bit of damage. And he's continuing. Oh my god, this Banshee Micro! This Banshee Micro! It's so sick! It's so disgusting! Raven comes in, auto turret to kill it off. Let's try and run through these sub names. You also, if you hear your name right now, go give it a sub by Jenna. Still 1995, Palmacon 71, Major Bubka, Snafu 999, Turtle Jung, Slavrock SC, Ellie Chips, Yuckies. Where's this Banshee over here? Still dealing damage, by the way. He's going to get pushed away. A few Marines now showing up as Maru going to get a tank siege up here as well. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Chimerical X, Walter 0, as this game is kind of ending, by the way, guys. TY is in a lot of trouble. Maru's looking to push this into a game 5. Gizro 7414, welcome to the Woody family via Jenna, Nana MCI, Mini-Me, Winterflex, Hands-on Boy 794020, Multiplayer, Carlos Zavaz, Lakufe, and Miss Ruzzle. God, there's some really tough names in this one. Mish Kuzzle. Oh my god, these names are tough today, guys. Aye. Just a cheeky sub drop, no big deal. Aye. I don't know if we call that no big deal around here, but thank you so much. Get some love in the chat. As you see, 24 workers have gone down. We've just been watching this, guys. I wouldn't say anything particularly spectacular about this at the moment. Maru just got into the lead and continued pressing. TY will hold on, but have a 15 worker deficit. His counterattack needs to really deal damage, or there's going to be some trouble. Creighton Oslin has a Twitch Prime sub and says, I'll sub to anyone showing my boy Mary. Thank you so much. And Ilas gifting out a sub to Jenna as well. A circle of love and family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You guys are so awesome. Thank you, Jenna, for the big sub bomb. And thank you for that Twitch Prime sub, Creighton. And thank you, Ilas, for the sub gift. Woo. Thank you, guys. As you see, in the meantime, we kind of battled our way through the sub names. That was kind of tough. Man, that Banshee micro in the main was incredible to begin with, though. The micro over here against the Marine was so fantastic. What a way to just maximize effectiveness. That's what we know and love Maru for. And as we're going to be seeing the Banshee continuing up the left-hand side. Marine just chilling out over the right. Stimpack 1-1 upgrades. I mean, Maru just setting up into the rest of his game here. Third base down and mining. The advantages are almost endless, really. As this Banshee will just siege up from the side and just kind of fight Marines again, picking off a couple of units here and there. Having picked off so many Marines also obviously allowed Maru to then go for that push forwards and get position. Units were out of location to begin with because they were dealing with Banshees. There wasn't that many units to begin with because they were dealing with Banshees. As Raven loops around, is there for detection, so the Vikings will get the kill. Ravens, Banshee, tanks, Vikings, all heading down towards the bottom right-hand side. Maru needs to be a little bit cautious here. The tanks do get sieged up, and again, these couple of Ravens wanting to try and decide what to pop their energy on. Interference Matrix maybe to break through, but one missile turret up here. I like the position of these missile turrets, just trying to protect these tanks, especially from the Banshees as well. It is kind of a frustrating moment or two as Maru, again, all he has to do is defend, but it is not going to be easy to defend this position as we see the tanks continue to pull back, and this pressure from TY. It has potential. Definitely has potential. Those Ravens have a good amount of energy on them. There's 3 Ravens as well, so there's a ton of interference matrix available. Maru just gives up the third base location, decides to continue pulling away. The third just pulling away a little bit down to the south. Marines in the tank from Maru pushing up to the top. And the Banshee starting to deal some damage. A couple shots off onto a siege tank there. Another Banshee coming forward. It's going to pick its way through some SCVs. Oh, the Viking count is good from TY though. What a frustrating composition as Maru sets up for surround. Definitely one of the better ways to do this is those tanks Into Phoenix Matrix, here we go. He knows all he has to do to survive this. He pulls the boys in. Marines from the back side of this as we see auto turrets galore. Auto turrets all over the place at the moment. He targets down a high NG Raven. Maru, so he cleans it up. 21 workers lost. And he cleans up the ground army, which I feel is the majority of this, as now the Vikings will land. They will not actually fare all too well against a siege plank or two in the background. Maru holds on and obviously still producing so many Marines. TY is still in the 1-1-1 setup. He can't get out of it. It's just he's completely stuck here. I was going to see that Banshee comes in, picks up a siege tank. Orbital still can't land on the third. Maru scans just to check TY has no third base as well and realizes, okay, you are super all in. Having lost all those workers, Maru is still equal on the worker count as well, and that is just the cause of. You can see that even scans the other one. He's really wanting to make sure that he knows TY was very all in with this attack. And then, again, while TY did some good damage here, and he starts up a third base, he still has to get 4 racks down. He still has to get 1-1 upgrades. He has a lot of work to do to transition this into a later game. Maybe he plays mech and then he can sort of get away without upgrades as much. It's a possibility. Mech does have that kind of tendency to, you know, kind of overwhelm sometimes even without good upgrades. But that's just GG. Too many Marines stemming in, and Maru will shut it down. Tie us up. Well, proxy racks in game 5. Of course, why the hell not? It's Maru. Top left, our blue Terran on Kairos Junction is TY, representing Splice. And as in the bottom right, building racks on the top side, the red Terran player is Maru. Proxy, 2 racks Reaper. I mean, TY won a game with it earlier. It's not super kind of like, oh my god, game 5, super all in. He's putting everything on the line. Obviously, you're hoping that this deals a bit of damage, but 2 racks Reaper, I would say like 2 racks Reaper has like a 70 to 80% rate of like succeeding in putting you in at least an even position. You really have to mess up quite heavily to come out behind. So someone like Maru a lot of the time will find himself in a good position from this, so forces some pressure onto TY. Obviously has the chance of it snowballing out of control. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what happens. That's all I can really say, because I'm excited to see what goes down here. We'll see that SCV comes in from Maru, nibbles onto TY for a moment there. Reaper about halfway done as this factory, just over halfway done as well. Orbital will drop down a mule onto that mineral line. And the Reaper just going to come over and is going to start nibbling away at that SCV. So SCV taking a little bit of damage. Reaper grenade goes down, hopping down to the low ground. And again, the few SCVs of TY coming over to help out as well. 1 SCV getting picked off there. And a couple of Reapers hopping up in towards the main, as they are going to try and get damage done as fast as possible. Obviously, TY did not opt for an early expansion, which gives him a good setup, gives him that bit of a faster factory, so the Hellion starts to come up very quickly. When the Hellion's up, you really need at least 3 Reapers to be able to engage it, probably 4 to get rid of it quickly. SCV of TY just continues to pick up info, sees the factory coming in back at home. Obviously, neither player will expand just yet, and you do kind of force out a good amount of Hellions here, so you kind of keep that factory busy on units which will be kind of good initially, but then as you transition away from this, you kind of have this sort of setup where, you know, as you transition away, the Hellions, they're good at early game damage, but they do kind of fade away and they're not as useful later on. See what TY can do with them. Ooh, the Reapers have got themselves in a bit of a weird spot here. Oh, this is tough. He's going to keep throwing down those grenades to force TY back, but he is stuck in a corner. Again, the control is great so far as he dives through. There's only so much you can do here as Maru. He's going to try and get an SCV or 2, but the target fire is not quite there. He's trying to stay alive. He gets the Hellion at least. Another Reaper on the way in, but this was not good. Got himself stuck, and now he doesn't have any units. That is actually very concerning. These racks will lift up. The 2 Reapers that survive will head on home. Now, this is very good for TY. That was a great defense. Just those Reapers were never meant to get caught up here. They were meant to be able to get away and just keep on poking in, poking out, and all of that. As you see the couple of Hellions on the Reaper just hanging out on the natural expansion. Marines coming in. They're going to knock their way through that barracks up in the sky. So Rax taking quite a few shots here. Is really taking a bit of a beating at the moment. So Rax taking a bit of a beating. Starport about to finish up from Maru. As we do see the command center in the main base, well, Maru will begin to expand as well. It has to expand high ground, does not have the army to hold the low ground at the moment, so has to expand high ground, which he will do. He builds a Cyclone, another Cyclone as well. He's getting a mobile defense going. I kind of feel like a siege tank is almost needed, but the Cyclones do work better if there's air units coming in as well. Obviously, you then have a defense against those, such as this Liberator, for example. That's kind of important, as Maru will just go straight into a Raven. That should help him to defend. Obviously can turn into an aggressive setup as well, but should for the most part help him to defend. Reapers and Cyclones. Just gonna, I mean, it's gonna take a long time to grenade down. I wouldn't mind with Reapers. Maybe back in the day that was something that worked out a little bit. Love the Cyclone lock on and hold position as well, so that Cyclone doesn't go chasing forwards. We see the Cyclone is, Liberator getting ready to come into the main. The Cyclone's obviously out of position. Since Liberator has some real potential to deal damage, although Auto Turret from the Raven could be the answer to at least push it back or get some damage onto it. I think the Auto Turret should clean it up, so here you go, Liberator sieges. SCVs will probably have to pull away right now. And again, those Cyclones out of position is, Maru just a little bit slow to realize that, so loses 4 workers. Obviously in a position where he doesn't really want to be losing workers. The Liberator is unsieging. It's kind of threatening a re-siege. And is going to re-siege here this time. Auto turret. Oh, gets blocked by an SCV. Interference Matrix. Interesting choice. Because the Cyclone's on the way back home. Okay. I like it because actually the Interference Matrix means he can't get away and he can guarantee the Cyclone kill. If it unsieged against the auto turret and moved away instantly, it probably just gets away. I'm not going to lie. I'm not actually 100% sure how the interaction between an auto turret and a Liberator goes. Couple Hellions coming in towards the upper right-hand side. Stim pack and +1 attack on the way now from Maru as well as it continues into this here. Maru trailing by 6 workers, down by 14 army supply as well. It's not pretty for him. Not at all. So Bit Ghost, thank you so much for that 12-month year resub. The big one, yeah. Good to have you on board for a whole entire year. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate it, dude. Hello, how you doing? Happy New Year. Here's to another great one. Cyclones will lock on, get rid of that Wooden Mine nice and quick. Maru applying some pressure, but he doesn't even have the army advantage. He just has the more mobile army in the form of these Cyclones. Tell you what though, Maru is getting stimming +1. If there's ever a situation you can come back into the game with, it's with kind of like a unexpected bio advantage. Suddenly you show up and you have a bunch of Marines with stim. And those tanks aren't expecting it. TY's like pushing across the map and he isn't sieged up. Stim Marines can catch you off guard sometimes there, so that's definitely something to watch for here as we get this going. 2 Cyclones and the Raven coming up to the top as Siege is going to lock on, pick off another Marine. Again, Maru fighting from behind, trying to make this work. As we see an SCV coming forwards, just sees those couple of units. A couple more depots going to be finishing up in the back of the natural expansion. Engineering base finishing up from TY. So you will have upgrades available to you. He'll go into 1-1, which will eventually even out the upgrades. You can see there's quite a lot in TvT where one player gets upgrades a little bit faster than the other. They usually only have a single engineering bay. The other player then catches up with 1-1 at the same time. So at the end, the upgrades actually end up pretty even, but it does give the player with +1 earlier an advantage for just a little while. Thanks to Marines pulling back a little bit as double auto turret drops down the back of the main base, sorry. And we're still heading out in towards the center of the map with these Marines. Again, I feel if there's a chance for Maru, it's around about now. And he has to do something right. He has no third CC. Looks like he wants to build one in location, but I mean, now is the time, right? As TY presses forwards to take a third base. That's going to be tough, though, and I don't think attacking in towards the third base is the right decision because the tanks are sieged up here. Plenty of room to work with. Tanks continue to siege. Maru is still moving up through the center of the map. Another scan dropping down, and again, Maru just moving around a little bit here. Combat Shields is about to finish up. Cyclone locks off, picking up that Marine. Nice job done there. We are just going to be seeing the 1-1 upgrades still coming through here for TY. Combat Shields on the way up. Missile drops down the top side. Maru again is in position to kind of hold that spot. Nice Matrix allows the tank to come in, and it does push Maru off. Honestly, Maru's applying some good pressure here. Cyclone's going to come up and just lock onto a siege tank and pray. I think Crane is not quite enough there. Oh! Sits on the edge, and he does get a siege tank for a Cyclone in the end. Okay, well, picking his way through the numbers. I mean, Maru's making things happen out there, guys. He is on the map, he's hunting, he's trying. He's 9 workers down, but he's making an opportunity for himself in a game that he really didn't have under control at all. He had nothing in, really. Doing a great job of this at the moment. Marines in a tank coming into the center. A couple of Liberators might be caught. That'd be huge. Oh, Maru. No, he stops. He sees them now. Okay, well, at least he's seen them, so he knows they're on the way, so he should be able to set up a defense. The last thing Maru can afford to do is to lose more workers, because if he loses more workers here, he is going to be in some real trouble. TY starts to press forward. The upgrades are even 1-1 apiece, and both players actually got that 2-2 apparently. You're going to see these Marines trying to fight, but there's enough Marines from Maru to push that away. If we look at the unit count, he is on 44 to 17 Marines. He's only 2 tanks behind. It's the Viking Liberator army from TY that takes the lead, and that will have use throughout the game, and that will have a lot of potency, so that's something to worry about. Scan on the third base. These Marines in position to try and deny those Liberators coming in. One that peels away, going to loop around probably towards the third, and again try and pull Maru apart a little bit. 4th command center from TY. Can Maru even think about a 4th base right now? Probably not. I feel like Maru is still on the verge of being all in here, although he does start up 2-2 upgrades. Sees that Liberator now, so needs to get a response to that ASAP, and will start to stim some Marines over. Almost feels like as Maru gets behind, he starts to play better, starts to see things right away. Injects in here, no target fire on the Liberator, so he only loses a couple Marines and 1 SCV. Marines in the main base already in position. Deal some damage to that Lib. And he's going to put it down in towards the natural now. Is pushing up the left-hand side. You're going to see those Marines trying to poke in, but the tanks are good. But he's keeping a lot of TY's army at home, and tell you what, just as TY finally gets across the map, there's already a siege tank here. Those depots obviously in a little bit of trouble, but there's a potential for Maru to hold this up. Losing the depots isn't pretty. Maybe the tank can just siege up just a little bit further forwards. The important thing is it buys Maru time, and his Marines will be able to come in and push that away. Yeah, nicely done. Maru just controlling the map, has units at home. Ness is a bigger push from TY though, and Maru is maybe realizing that he's a bit out of position for this. His medevacs are just kind of being ran up to the top side. I think Maru has to just go and base trade this now. This third base is in some serious trouble. Base trading might not be easy though. As TY forces the third base away, but Maru's army stimming forwards. He sees the opportunity. 1 tank sieges up on the high ground. Good amount of Marines here. Anti-armor missile from Maru. The lift up on the medevac to try and minimize damage. Maru will just put himself straight into the natural of tank support. And that's tough though to really do much more, but he does kill SCVs. I mean, TY backed away so quickly. And they see Vikings and the fire anti-armor missile as well. Oh, you need to get out of here right now, Maru. You can't stick around. Again, TY just backed away so quickly. The third base lifted up. He didn't kill anything. So Maru will take a worker lead from this. He will take the worker lead from this with the Vikings coming across through the bottom side. Was backing away, the wrong decision by TY. I think he was maybe he just didn't want the base trade. Maybe he felt Maru was better set up for that. I mean, you can kind of understand it, right? Because in a longer game, I think, oh, SCVs are pulling forwards. Is that a Liberator, or is that just, I'm ready to kill you? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe those SCVs want to go down to that low ground, but now they're a little bit stuck. Oh, anti-armor, interference and anti-armor missiles on the tanks up there. That's going to be painful. Here we go. Maru's going to try and break this with so many tanks. It's not going to be easy. In fact, it's not going to happen. TY, the tank line is way too deep, and he will do way too much. A really, really good attempt by Maru in a game that he